Now, as we go to the last topic of chapter or module 2, we're getting ready for our test on chapter 2. And if you want to stay within the time limit, then shortly after this lesson or before the week end, you want to take your chapter 2 test. So then we can register you for the next part of the program. But if you are a little behind and want to take the 2 semesters to complete it, then you can, you don't have that deadline. Okay, we're now going to take a look at the sum or difference of cubes. Now, what I've laid out here, and hopefully this is in your booklet, is the difference of perfect cubes, and here the sum of perfect cubes. Now there is a recipe for factoring them, and you'll notice everything is the same except the signs. So let me go over the recipe little by little with you, and we'll see what we can get. So let's use this one as an example. A to the third minus b to the third. So this is a perfect cube, this is a perfect cube, and this is the difference. Now it starts off with a parenthesis for 2 terms and a parenthesis for 3 terms. That's step 1. Now again, you would factor out any common factor first, but let's say we're looking at this one. This is all ready to go. So now, what sign do you put here to separate these terms? Well, this sign right here. You put a negative sign there. Now, if you put a negative sign there, in the middle, you're going to put a positive sign, or the opposite of that sign. Now, all the other signs are positive. These are the only differences. That if this were a positive, you'd put a positive here and a negative there. Everything else is the same. So you take the cube root of a to the third, which is a, take the cube root of b to the third, which is b, and you've filled in your 2 parenthesis term expression. Now, the next stage is you square this term and put it here. Next, you multiply these 2 together, disregarding the sign, because you already know the sign is going to be positive, and that's going to be AB. And then you square this term, which will be B plus. Now, if this were a, hopefully you've copied that down, it's right here. Now, if this were a plus, the only difference would be that this would be a plus then, and this one would be the opposite sign, negative. And again, we have the recipe right there. So take the cube root a, cube root b, square this, multiply these, the sign has already been determined, square this, and there we go. You have factored the difference and the sum of perfect cubes. Now we'll leave that there so you can try it out. So looks like it's in good shape. So you put parenthesis for 2, parenthesis for 3. What sign will go here? A plus. Take the cube root of z squared is z. Cube root of 64, you may not know that, but it's 4. Now if you put a plus there, you're going to put a minus there. Opposite sign. Square this, multiply these together, square that. Okay, this is a perfect cube. This is a perfect cube. It's the difference. So, parenthesis for 2, parenthesis for 3. Now, what sign goes here? Negative. So the opposite sign goes there, positive. The cube root of this is 2a. The cube root of this, you're just going to divide by 3 here, the 6, becomes b to the second. Now you square this, and this is 4a squared. Multiply these two together, disregarding the sign. You already know it's positive. 2ab squared. And now you square this, a positive b to the 4th. Now you can check your answers below, but this is the pattern. So this is a perfect cube, this is a perfect cube. Parenthesis for 2, parenthesis for 3. Sign here is plus. Opposite sign here. Cube root of that is x to the 3rd. Cube root of 27 is 3. Now we're going to square this, and we get x to the 6th. Multiply these two together, and we get 3x to the 3rd. Square this, and we get 9. So it is a pattern. For some of you, again, we have this as a reference. You can go back and start from the beginning again until you master this. You don't want to get this wrong. Remember, you can use your notes on your test and on your quiz-me's and, of course, practice. Let's go on. Now, for some of these, again, they get a little more challenging. As we look at this one, we have to factor out a 2x first. And then we get this. 27 c to the 3rd minus 125 x to the 3rd. Now, this is the difference of perfect cubes. So we go 2x, then a parenthesis for 2 terms, and a parenthesis for 3 terms. Let me give you a chance to do it. Okay, so the cube root of this is, well, first of all, the sign, negative and positive. This sign here, opposite sign there. So this is 3c, and this is 5x. Square this is 9c squared. Multiply these together, disregarding the sign. That's 15. You could put it xy or cx, I should say. And then square this plus 25x squared. I guess you should keep it in the alphabetical order. MathLab may be a little fussy about that. Okay, so on our exponents, anything divisible by 3 is a perfect cube. So, parenthesis for 2, parenthesis for 3. A negative sign there, opposite sign there. Let me give you a chance on this too. So this will be 4a squared, and this is going to be b to the fourth. Just divide the exponent by 3 to get that. Now square this. 16 a to the fourth. Multiply these together. 4a squared b to the fourth. And square this now. Positive b to the eighth. And these are perfect cubes too. Let's give ourselves a little more room here. So, plus sign here, opposite sign there. So this is going to be x squared. Now the cube root of that is 1/10. So we square this and get x to the fourth. Now we just multiply these together, so this is going to be x squared over 10, and now we square this, 1 over 100. Again, you can go back, you want to try it so that you know how to do these. Now we're getting equations here, and we're looking for at least some solutions. So here we're going to factor this, because it's the difference of perfect squares. This is a minus 3, and this will be a plus there. So then we get a squared 3a plus 9. Now we can take this factor, a minus 3, and equal it to 0. This doesn't factor, so we're not able to solve this at this time, but we know one of our answers is a equals 3. If you put a 3 there, a to the 3 to the third is 27. 27 minus 27 is 0. So this is one of the answers. Now here we want to factor out the 2 and then bring that over to this side. So we get x to the third minus 125 equals 0. We're transposing this, then factoring out the 2. So this becomes then 2 times minus there, plus there. This is going to be x minus 5. And then this is x squared plus 5x plus 25. Now the only part that we can solve is this. X minus 5 equals 0. X equals 5. So if we put a 5 in there, this is going to be 125 minus 125. This is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. So this is an answer. And here we just take it to the other side, and we're going to get then 81 on the other side plus 3,000 equals 0, and this is x to the third here. Now I can take out a 3 out of each one of these. So 3 out of there leaves me with 27 x to the third plus 1,000 equals 0. So I get 3 now, parenthesis for 2, parenthesis for 3, and this is going to be 3x plus 10, 9x squared minus 30x plus 100. This doesn't factor anymore, but we now have this factor that equals 0. 3x plus 10 equals 0. So we transpose the 10, negative 10, divide by 3, x equals a negative 10/3. And that's the answer. Okay, so we'll keep this short. We may be doing some review of Chapter 2. Again, you should be preparing for your Chapter 2 test. And good luck.